Welcome back to I'm Ola.
I'm Shamie, and today we have some very special guests for you all.
Woo!
Okay. But these are some wonderful people. They have a YouTube channel called Life to the Max, and it's Damala and Joseph. So you guys, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your channel, and we'll get right into this video.
Awesome. So yes, like Shamie said, I'm Damala.
And I'm Joseph.
And we are Life to the Max. So on our channel, we talk relationships, travel, fashion as well, and just sprinkle Jesus all over it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know this has been like a planning disaster for half of it, but we're here and we're excited to talk to you all. And today we're going to be talking about your wedding, but specifically how COVID put a damper on everything, but how you worked through it and where you are now and just some of those things. So we'll just go with the first question. When were you supposed to get married?
So our wedding was scheduled for August 15th, 2020. Both the traditional ceremony and reception, like everything was that full Saturday. So we were, looking forward to it for a long time.
A long time.
I was looking forward to it for a long time. I'm like planning how much weight I'm gonna lose and everything so that I could fit into whatever I showed.
She was planning for your wedding.
Love to hear it.
Yes.
How long have you been planning your wedding?
Alright, so I would say we started planning around like November 2019. So that was like, 10 months-ish out. And we had honestly a lot of time between like our engagement and the actual wedding date. So it wasn't like a last minute planning. So it was like a lot of time throughout the whole process.
Yeah. And I think Damala is like kind of like a big planner. So she lets like set things up right from like
dot my I's, cross my T's.
I mean, you have to for weddings because everything that can happen will happen wrong.
Yes.
If you don't, even when you plan it, it's still gonna happen. So
All these crazy vendors out there.
Yes. So yeah, we started planning November.
2019.
at what point, right, when this whole COVID came out? I know it was like March when they started doing the lockdown. But what was your reaction when the lockdown started? Were you like, did you feel like it was gonna affect you? Or at that time, were you just like, oh, God is in control? Like, what?
God take the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we didn't really think about it too much when like we heard about like the whole thing starting out, the pandemic starting out, and that was because we were in the midst of like relocating to Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't even the first on our mind. We were just like, once we get past this, then we can start focusing on like, the wedding planning and what to do about all of that. So it wasn't really the first on our mind. We weren't that super flustered.
Yeah.
We were just like, you know what, we'll get back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's just focus.
Yeah.
I think that was the initial reaction for most people when the whole COVID thing started. Like, I even traveled at the end of January. There were people like wearing masks in the airplane. And I'm just like, what's wrong with these people?
And I told her, I was like, where you're going, I feel like that's where it's gonna really ramp
Yeah,
up.
I went to California, guys. So
And it took off there in that area.
Yeah, so I think everybody was probably feeling that same way.
So yeah, like my bachelorette was in February, so I was still on like that batch high, and then like, oh yeah, the wedding is coming.
Yeah.
And then we were still like moving and like trying to figure out like everything and the new location. So it really wasn't even on our mind.
Yeah, and I literally crossed the border in March, like
Yeah.
early March, and so that was when, like I
The
got
week
in.
before they shut the border.
The week before they shut it down, that was when I got in. So I was like,
Yeah, imagine if they shut the border down before.
Yes.
it was crazy, but.
And then it was like, okay, God is in control. It's a pandemic. Let's lay low for now. Let's chill and let's see how it plays out.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll just give you guys a little bit of a plug they're doing a series on long distance relationships right now. So if you haven't checked that out, you need to check that out. Because what he said, he crossed the border. He was coming from a different country, not a different state.
That's another level.
The whole country.
Yeah.
So y'all need to watch that because the struggle is real.
Yes, long distance relationships, man. It's not easy.
When did you decide to postpone the
We
wedding?
made the decision to postpone like 2 months before the wedding date. We had a lot of family members, you know, traveling internationally, Canada, Nigeria as well. And just for like the safety of everyone, it was just like, wait, I don't know if we can do this. People coming from different places to celebrate with us, yes, we would love that, but it's better to be safe than sorry, like in the whole situation. So yeah, around like June, we were like, okay, let's get something out there and let people know what's going on with our wedding.
Yeah, especially being an international wedding, right? You got to look at border closing and all that stuff, which got worse around that time.
And flights being canceled. I know my mom was still planning on going to Canada for a wedding, and they just kept canceling her flight. One leg would be canceled, so she couldn't even get anywhere. But yeah, it was really, really crazy. But I mean, did you have anybody that was upset about it? Because I know, like, I think I cried. I was really upset. Did you have any shocking reactions from anybody that you're like,
oh yes!
That was mom reacted.
Yes. So we called my mom when we actually made okay, we're gonna postpone this. Let's call our parents and talk to them, right? I called my mom and I don't know, we probably go to Walmart or something. So we're in the car and my mom is like, are you guys canceling the wedding? Are you sure you're not canceling the wedding? The wedding is still going to happen, right? We're like, no, mom, we're postponing, like later dates. You are saying you are canceling the wedding? We're like, mommy, no, that's not what we're saying. Like, I think her reaction was just so funny and like unexpected.
But yeah, we understand. I mean, like, everyone wants to celebrate with us, so
yeah,
it was good to, you know, at least get everyone's feedback and get everyone's reaction. No one was like really upset.
No one's really upset.
But you know, people understand that the situation.
Except for Shabby, who just found out crying. Oh man.
So how did you communicate to like everybody when you decided to postpone it?
So I think once we made that decision, then I think the following week we sent out like emails and we sent out like I think it was
like just like an e-card pretty much. Yeah, so everyone that are already RSVP'd from the website, that was like really easy to do. We had the emails on file, just sent out like a general message, and then everyone else we sent like an e-card. So everything was like electronic, you know, communication on internet speeds. Technology, yes.
it helps us but kills us at the same time?
That's true.
Were you able to get any of your deposits back? Is it just credits right now? What is the plan in terms of the vendors? Were they working with you pretty well in order for you not to lose a lot of money while postponing your wedding?
So early on, a lot of our vendors actually reached out to us asking us like, okay, we know what's going on with the pandemic. Like, what are you guys thinking? Where are you heading? And like that was April-ish. So I was just like, I mean, by May, we're gonna be outside again. So it's fine. Like, we just told them like, you know, let's just wait it out and see what's gonna happen. And by the time we decided to postpone, they were like, okay, let us know like what date, like your new date, when you have a new date. And we'll kind of go from there. But the venue actually like offered to refund us like right away. Like, do you want a refund or should we just... Yes, it was like...
They're not usually that nice.
Oh, they were godsend, honestly. Like, it was all God.
Honestly, we weren't expecting it. We were thinking of, you know, maybe we'd negotiate something, but they were like, they reached out to us first, and they were like, you know what do you guys want to do? Do you want to, are you planning a different date, or are you getting your deposit, like, do you want your deposit back, right? So it was awesome.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, there was only one that had to, like, credit us back. Yeah.
Like give you credit for whenever the time comes.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we had a story of a couple that the vendors like actually gave them the range of date that they had to do it by, even though they lost their money. So they're like, oh, restrictions should be lifted by this time, you can fly by this time, so therefore you need to have your wedding by this time or you lose credit and no refund.
It's the time for like, I feel like it's time for like businesses to practice like emotional intelligence. We all know what's going on.
Honestly.
But the thing is, they still have to pay somebody, and that's like me and my sister were talking about this, because she has a business, and she's like, well, the landlord can't say, oh, don't pay, because they gotta pay their mortgagee person, right? So there's still money being collected, so like they have to do something. So that's when compassion kind of goes out the window. Or like, right now you can't take tenants out, but if your tenant can't pay and you have mortgage to pay, what are you gonna do, right?
So I guess there's two sides to it. So everyone is trying to like maintain that balance, what works for them and what works for others.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's
thankfully, like God really like came through on our behalf and everything. Yeah.
That God factor is so important.
Yeah.
Right? Guys, if you're watching this video, God is God. You need that big G in your life.
So with the whole COVID, right, and limiting a number of attendees, are you still planning on doing a wedding with like less than 50 people or a small gathering?
So the venue, like, they're working with the State Department of Health.
Right.
And it's big enough that they can accommodate like the number of guests that we plan for and safely like social distance. So it worked out, honestly. And they were like telling us like, we're gonna have a wedding coming up in November that's gonna be like 350 and more. I was just like,
and they were like, we hope by then that maybe things would have changed completely. And we were like,
okay, that's nice.
Just give us the protocol and we'll follow. Just let us know. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Let them open the doors and then you go.
Exactly. Y'all go first. Let's see how that run goes, and then we'll go from there.
But I was like, you know what? If anybody coughs at the door, sorry. Like, send you down.
Sorry, you
If
can't.
you cough, you sneeze.
That's not fair. Some people have conditions where they go all the time.
They gotta sign a waiver or something.
Exactly. You have to sign something. You'll be like...
But you guys have seen all the weddings that they're having. I've been looking at a lot of weddings. Nobody's wearing masks.
Yeah, I was gonna answer
I've
that.
seen a lot of weddings. You've seen them as well, right? Yeah. I don't really know what they're thinking. But Damola and Joseph, how big was your wedding supposed to be?
200, 250. Our parents, 500 in their head. But realistically, 250 was like our max.
Guys, you might not know this, and I don't know if you guys have shared this on your channel, but Damola is the only girl in her family. And people get crazy about their girl.
That is so true. Yes, the pressure on everything. I feel like it's my mom's wedding sometimes when we're talking about it, and not my wedding. But I understand, and being the only girl too. It's like, okay, mommy, I've heard you. We'll try. We'll see.
So that's essentially why the whole, getting 50 people or less thing isn't gonna work in your case, because you gotta have that big wedding. Yeah. I mean, if I could go back and do it again, I think our wedding was like 200 people. And that was, I think we planned for 200, it was around 250. And we had to go to a whole different continent to do our wedding to get it to that size. So, if you're watching this video and you have African parents, there's no way to get out of it. I'm so sorry. Was your honeymoon already planned out?
Yes, so Damola planned everything, and so I'm gonna let her talk about it.
Yeah. Alright, so we booked our honeymoon January. So it wasn't even too far in advance, but we booked it January, and then everything started picking up with the pandemic in March. And we're just like, okay, I mean, it's a cruise. We've never been on a cruise. It's gonna be so much fun, but so many people. And they honestly didn't cancel the cruise until June. And it was for August, so that was kind of late on their part, but we were honestly planning on going, even with the wedding postponed, and then at the end of the day, they canceled it. So I was just like, oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Cruises are nice, but those are the ones that got hit pretty hard.
And
some of the businesses got hit hard.
They don't cancel things, guys, because even we went on one in October last year, and that was when there was hurricanes or something like that, and it was messing up the whole. And they didn't cancel it, and they were the day before is when they might cancel it, and then they'll offer you credit towards it. Yeah, because if the boat can go, they want it to go. They lose a lot of money because they have these people on staff all year. if nobody's going. But yeah, so I'm not surprised they waited that long, even with COVID and all the people dying on the cruise ships.
And they're being quarantined on the ship. They can't get out.
Right.
People still stuck on ships. Yeah, it's really mind blowing. Yeah.
Yeah. So did they refund you, or did they just move it out?
Yeah. So they credited us. They were like,
credited us.
if you want to, just use your future cruise credit, you can use that later on. And I think we're still gonna do it.
We will do it.
Cruises are amazing. We've gone on one, since we started, we've gone on one every year. It doesn't get boring. Think about, let me not say the Titanic, but
Oh yeah, no, that's not a good example. What?
But think about, how fancy the Titanic looked? Just think about
21st century now.
Yeah, 21st century. You're weighted on hands and foot. There's all kinds of food.
Oh shit, that's that video of that guy dancing to Nigerian
Oh my
music.
God, yeah, we have a
We have
funny,
a funny
video.
video.
There's they were playing Nigerian music on the cruise ship.
Whiskey.
Yeah,
Davido.
Davido, everything. Because it's all
Oh man,
and
that's
then
crazy.
when you get on the islands as well, you can do all kinds of stuff. I know you guys have a lot of experience in traveling. Guys, watch their channel. When I grow up, I want to be like them because we haven't gone anywhere.
Do y'all regret not having your wedding earlier?
We don't regret it. We believe God's timing is important, priority, and all of this. We had prayed about it, and we also believe that marriage it's more than one day event. It's, there's life after the wedding day. Of course, we want to celebrate with everyone, but it's important that we prepare even more for what's coming after. Yeah, I think the way we thought about it was that it just gave us more time to prepare for what's coming, what's next, rather than just settle on what's happening right now. And for us, we believe we want people to live their lives to the max. We encourage people to live their life to the maximum, live a full life. And a full life for us doesn't mean it's all going to be good. It's all going to be rosy. It's all going to be nice. There's always the bumps. There's always the little issues here and there, and so it's all part of the journey, right? That's the way we saw it. That was our perspective. So we did not regret it.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
Yes.
Good.
You said it all.
The answer.
It's just part of it.
Hopefully. I mean, that should help a lot of people out, because it's not always good times, right? Times might be bad, but, your relationship should hold strong,
Right,
So,
right. Because life, like you said, never
curveballs.
goes as you plan. I don't think that's why, I used to be a planner. Now I kind of plan loosely, knowing that God is in control.
Yes, there's room. There's room for change.
At any point with all this happening, did you think if you get out of that African parent requirement of having a big wedding, man, is this God saying that I no longer have to have this big wedding?
Did we think that?
Not really, but I was down for a small wedding. Either way.
I know initially we always wanted 50 people, boom, that's it. Intimate, small wedding, and we thought even US would be an international for some people that are coming in to celebrate with us, right? But we honestly had it in mind, we're gonna go to some island and want to get married. Go some. My mom was like, it must be in Indiana.
I remember that time because we're it'll make it so much nicer. You were talking about Canada at some point.
So, but honestly, the venue letting us know that now it has to be 250 or less. I went back to my mom. I was like, so the venue I said is 250 or less, so we can't go beyond that. So in a way, that was to our advantage.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
In the middle of COVID-19, right, a lot of people are still having weddings from what I see. Have you guys seen anybody that that's had a wedding recently in this COVID pandemic?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had friends that got married in August, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. It was good to see. But our reaction was oh, great. I feel at this time, people need to do what works for them, what works for their family.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, their priority, it's they are priority. It's not any other person's wedding. It's yours.
It's your day.
I think as long as they both agree on it, and they're able to look back and say, we can cherish these memories, we can cherish this time, that's all that matters, honestly. So yeah, people actually did get married during the pandemic.
I have
It was
many
good to
friends
see.
who have gotten married, and they were beautiful. Like honestly, everything seamless, like just beautiful.
Did you go to any of them?
No.
We planned to, but we could not because
The borders are
closed.
So a couple of them were in Canada, so like we can't get into Canada. You know, everyone's like U.S. Nah, we don't want you right now.
Was it really small, those weddings?
No,
Not
I
really.
think they were good size.
Yeah, they were like, not small, not too small.
You didn't really notice the difference with it being COVID. It just looked like a regular wedding, right?
Okay, so we noticed the difference in terms of like the receptions, like with everyone being spread out. Some people did, distancing. Some people didn't have masks on, and then like even with the ceremonies as well, like you could tell like everyone was kind of spread out.
Awesome. That's really good. Because I mean, at the end of the day, this is our new normal. So might as well figure out how to make it work for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody give each other space. I guess that's what it is.
God is like, this world is too about what we lived in.
Jeez, spread out, y'all.
Do you feel like COVID is gonna change the way weddings are moving forward, like forever?
Forever.
Definitely. I think it does, and in the sense that people now focus on, the joy of getting married than the wedding itself. Having an extravagant wedding.
Yeah.
Right? It's about like let's get married. Let's enjoy marriage, right? Let's do what's more important, priority, right? Than let's just have a big wedding,
Yeah, but I think like, all the changes and everything that venues they have to adhere to like just state rules, right? And that's going to be temporary. I don't think it's going to be like long term.
Yeah. Well, pending a vaccine that nobody is going to take because nobody wants to die.
Nobody want to be the guinea pig. So I guess one of the things that could benefit people going forward is even the cost of having such a big wedding, right? It would limit the amount of people that's needed to come to the wedding.
But I don't think venues are gonna accommodate for that.
In terms of increase the price for less people coming?
Yeah, they probably will increase because they still want to make their money. So they probably will increase the cost because they still have the same overheads, even though the people are less.
Yeah, I think they would rather just, figure out ways to make sure that people are social distancing if that's what's necessary. But I think everyone's trying to still get their business up. So.
And if you want a big wedding, rent out a stadium. I'll do an outdoor wedding. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the only benefit is that it will limit all the people that you don't want at your wedding then. Simply that.
Do you guys have any advice to give to anybody that's going through? Because it looks like, it all worked out well for you guys so far, but is there any advice you can give to somebody that maybe, it's not, maybe their vendors aren't working with them, they're kind of feeling depressed about this whole situation because they really wanted their, glamorous wedding, and now it seems like all the plans is like, is gone. Any advice you can give them?
That's a great question. So, I would say right off the bat, like, you can always celebrate as big as you want at a later date, like always. Like, this is just a season that we're going through now, so like have that in mind. Like, even if we have to do something small now and it's for the better, we can always celebrate or renew our vows or something like super extravagant as you want later on. And then also, like, if you can, set clear expectations with the vendors that you still have if you're still moving on with it. Like, communicate, let them know this is what we're expecting, this is what we want. And also be flexible. Like, we don't get 100% our way 100% of the time.
Exactly. I think, like Damola said, it's important to like put what needs to be first.
Priority.
What's priority. Just make your marriage priority. That's what you guys are planning for, not just one day, right? It's great to celebrate and all that. I'm all for that, honestly. But there's life after one day, and that's more important. That's really more important.
You're preaching, Joseph. Like, no, you really are. Like,
Grandma, are you ready to be a pastor's wife?
She's prepped. She's prepped to go.
I think the question should be, am I ready to be a pastor?
You know, be pastor. She's already pastor's wife. Yeah.
But no, because you really are speaking the truth. And that's what I think both of our channels are really going to be talking about, relationships And so many people like neglect the things that need to be watered, and they're watering the things like weddings and things like that, it's one day, right? So just, everyone that's watching this video, focus on your relationship, build it up, water it, because the grass is greener when you water it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for doing this interview with us. We really enjoyed talking with you. Any last words?
Definitely very helpful hints and discussions, and I think your marriage will be a wonderful one just from hearing you guys talk. And I just wish you guys the best.
Thank you for featuring us.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us to speak about different things, and we stand honestly for healthy relationships and living your best life. So thank you.
Live to the max.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, share it with like 1 to 20,000 people.
As many as you can, for sure.
And don't forget to, as usual, as always, like,
Comment.
and subscribe to our channel. We really, really appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. And we'll talk to you guys on our next video.
Until next time, y'all take care.